The man you're about to meet walked into Facebook in 2006 as its 10th engineer. 20 years later, he's now the chief technology officer of the entire company. He coded the first Facebook newsfeed, built the ads machine that turned Meta into a $1 trillion business from the ground up, and last month, his team just launched Meta's first generation of smart glasses that he claims will change the world as we know it by 2028. This is Andrew Bosworth, but everybody at Meta just calls him Boz. He's the company's chief technology officer and the head of Reality Labs, the division at Meta that has spent more than $60 billion trying to build the next piece of technology that could replace the smartphone. For the last few years, Boz has been saying the same thing in public to anybody who will listen. He believes the smartphone successor is already here, and it lives on your face. And this month, for the first time since Meta launched their new generation of AI glasses designed completely in-house instead of utilizing outside brand partners like Ray-Ban and Oakley. So when Meta invited me to sit down with Boz, the week of perhaps the biggest launch of his career, I had exactly one question I wanted to ask him, and it wasn't about smart glasses. This era, the AI season of Meta, how would you sort of describe it?
It's absolute madness. We've never seen a shift like this before. Everything that we had built around is shifting underneath our feet. The next 18 months is going to be absolute chaos.
But before we get to that question, we need to understand who's actually making this bet. So before I flew out, I went back through 2 decades of his interviews, his blog, and the paper trail that he's left behind. And Boz's story starts earlier than you'd think. Before Facebook existed, Boz was a teaching assistant at Harvard in an artificial intelligence course. One of his students was a sophomore named Mark Zuckerberg. The two of them have been building together for 20 years since. The first thing Boz ever shipped at Facebook was a newsfeed in September 2006, and within a day of launch, hundreds of thousands of users joined groups demanding it to be deleted. There were even real-world protests. Zuckerberg had to publish a post that literally opened with the words, "Calm down, breathe, we hear you." They didn't kill the product, but they added controls, they listened, and they waited. Today, newsfeed is just how the internet works. Boz has spent 20 years watching new technology move through that exact cycle, from outrage to habit. And I think that history explains his confidence more than any spec sheet does. Now keep that cycle in mind. It's the lens for everything you're about to hear. Boz is usually the person in the room asking the hardest question himself. Remember that, because you're gonna see it happen in this interview. Tell me about the new line of glasses. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
They look great. I want to know the tech on board, what's new, but more importantly, it's a proprietary design. I want to know why that was so important to Meta and why you're particularly excited about that.
Yeah, there's still a partnership with EssilorLuxottica. They're manufacturing the layer lenses, it's their distribution, but we want to have glasses for everybody. You can't do that just on the backs of these iconic brands like Ray-Ban and Oakley. Those command a premium. And so if you want to be glasses for everybody, you've got to meet people where they are. The technology that we've put into this is design technology and bringing a lot more styles. 2 people don't want to wear the same glasses. It's an expression of themselves. Mark said this at Connect last year. The first thing these have to be is great glasses. The technology comes second to that. So for us, building Meta branded, reaching out to a broader audience in terms of the market positioning, and having more styles, more colorways that people can choose from so that they feel like the glasses they get fit them, that's the goal of this whole thing.
The frames are only half the launch though. The other half is the thing living inside them, and I don't have to pretend to be impressed by it. I agree. I mean, it's like a fashion choice. If I'm gonna wear sunglasses, I'm gonna wear my Ray-Ban Meta, and then I would say that the secondary hero feature of the capture technology. Then third is the AI, which I really want to get into that. Meta AI is actually fantastic. We were actually looking for a cafe earlier. We were going through Google, all the different chatbots. Meta AI is the only one that actually nailed it in terms of what we were looking for within like a 0.5-mile radius. And my wife has actually been using it so much to the point that I don't think she can churn because it has all of her context. Like honestly, not that you would, but you could charge $200 a month for it and she would have no choice but to pay it at this point. The big leap that it's taken, I think, over the last 4 months has been phenomenal. So I'm excited to have these on board.
We've been working on these location tools for a long time at Facebook and now Meta so that the glasses would be able to help you locally navigate. MSL took all the data that we'd prepared and brought it into the model, and MuseSpark absolutely crushes the local use case for this reason. So no, you've nailed it. Like that was a great collab between our teams.
Local recommendations and e-commerce.
You've got 2 of the top 3. The third one that we slay at is health. The top 3 things I think MuseSpark is the best at, and you've got 2 of them on your own, which is a good sign.
I genuinely love these products. I wear my Meta Ray-Bans fairly often, and my wife uses Meta AI as well. The model knows her taste, her history, and that context is exactly what makes it useful. It's also exactly what a company has to earn the right to hold. Because I've watched what happens when a company skips that first step. Back in 2013, Google put a camera on people's faces, and the backlash was hostile enough to produce a brand new insult. Glass hole. Bars banned them, theaters banned them, the consumer version was gone within 2 years. So the history here is worth taking seriously, and to Meta's credit, they have. There's a capture light on the frame now, and if you cover it, the camera simply refuses to record. And that's a real fix, a genuine step past the 2021 Ray-Ban stories where regulators in Ireland and Italy questioned whether bystanders could even see the light. No company on earth has spent more time being forced to think about this problem in public than Meta has. But the problem isn't fully solved, by them or by anyone. In October 2024, 2 Harvard students connected a pair of Ray-Ban Metas to a facial recognition engine and started identifying strangers in real time. Meta didn't build that, and Meta couldn't have stopped it. It's a reminder that once a camera lives on a face, no single company controls what gets built around it. And yet, the market has already started voting. Over 2 million pairs of Ray-Ban Metas have sold, with production reportedly scaling towards 10 million pairs a year. So the question isn't whether this technology is coming or not. It clearly is. The question is whether we're ready for it, and whether Meta can bring everyone along, including the people who've never put the glasses on. Meta wants to own majority market share for this next wave of wearable technology, but so does every other major tech company, which means this next 5 years of smart eyewear is going to be crowded. So I asked Boz who he's keeping an eye on in this space. I'm not going to say the first pioneers, because we had Google Glass and we had sort of iterations in the past, but I think where the next 5 years are going to get really interesting is everybody is sort of trying to catch up to Meta now. Tech, I think we're going to see a lot of eyewear wearables coming out. Who would you say, let's say if Meta's the 26 Knicks, who would you say the Spurs are? Like the one you're worried about most?
Oh man, you got me. I'm like, listen, it's obviously the Dubs. No, what are we doing? At Meta, we really have 2 fundamental beliefs. One of which is we want to bring the technology to everybody. So the only competitors that I worry about are people who are trying to bring the technology to everybody. You got to look at Google. They have a great model. They have a great research team. If they were able to crack tremendous consumer product out of this, I think they're somebody who I look to. I tell my team all the time, mostly when I look at these other teams playing, I'm trying to learn from them. I'm trying to say, okay, they took a different path than we took. They made different choices than we would have made. How's it working? What's the market say to that? How do people respond to it? And then we can do better on our side. Because this is not like software. I can't build 1,000 different pairs of glasses every year and just like see what works. You can only build a small number and every one of them counts. So every time somebody else launches something that's different, that's a tremendous value to you to learn from what could be better or worse about your products.
You've been here, I want to say 20 years.
That's right.
And,
years.
I've been following the story of Meta for some time. The shift from web to mobile was a big one. There's been a lot of regulatory battles. You've seen it all. I want to know, this era, this sort of season, the AI season of Meta, is this the most challenging? Is it the most exciting? How would you sort of describe it?
Both. It's absolute madness. We've never seen a shift like this before. It's bigger than the shift to the internet that we came in on, bigger than the shift to mobile, in my opinion, because it's not just a new modality. Everything about how we work is also changing, which is pretty crazy. So it's so chaotic. Everything that we got comfortable with, that we had built around as like stable structure, is shifting underneath our feet. The next 18 months is gonna be absolute chaos. I couldn't be more excited about where it goes. The 3 to 5 year view on this is unbelievably positive for the world, for people.
Real quick, if you made it this far, you're probably the kind of person who wants to see where technology is headed before it gets there. That's exactly what this channel is built for. Sitting down with the people actually building the future and asking the questions you would want to ask them. I've got some insane guests booked over the next few months with people you've definitely heard of, building the things you're probably already using every day. That sounds like your kind of thing. Hit subscribe so you don't miss it. All right, now back to Boz. I know there's a lot of stuff in R&D, surely. You may not be able to reveal anything, but what are you most excited about specifically, let's say over the next 18 to 24 months?
I've been very lucky. So in my life, I have a personal assistant. I have somebody who helps me do things. I'm able to assign whole work to somebody who understands my intentions, what I'm trying to accomplish, that I have kids, that I have a wife, that I have these kinds of constraints, and they make good decisions on my behalf, and I get time back. And that's time I spend with my family. That's time I spend with my kids. That's time I get to spend on things that matter a lot more, that I'm more uniquely able to do, right? Nobody else can spend time with my kids and have that matter. Only I can do that. But this is work that somebody else can do. But that's cost prohibitive for the vast majority of the population. You can give superpowers to everybody. Last week, we promised to give 180,000 pairs of glasses. Every single blind veteran in America is gonna get a pair of Ray-Ban Meta glasses. Why? Because it helps them navigate the world, helps them feel independent. Our display glasses have incredible technology for people who are hard of hearing, where it can actually live caption the real world. As an assistive technology, we understand that. But keep in mind, all of people have areas that they have strengths and weaknesses. Some people have better memories than other people. Some people have faster cognition than other people. Vision and hearing aren't the only disciplines upon which humans live on this normal curve. I think we're gonna give superpowers to every person. Superhuman memory, superhuman hearing, superhuman vision, so that they have the ability to be maximized in what they're capable of uniquely. When we talk about personal superintelligence. It's not just that the intelligence is personalized and is understanding you personally. That's part of it. It's also that you're maximized, what your unique offering is into the world. The glasses are such a key part of that. The hard part about using AI today actually isn't the AI not being smart enough. It's actually getting all the context of the world that you're living in to the AI. Any information that comes to your face right now, if you wanted to go to your computer, you have to take your phone out, type yourself a message. These glasses make it so much easier for you to maximize the power of what AI can do for you, and then also to close the loop and get information back to you that's timely, that's critical to you to maximize your ability to achieve your goals in the real world.
And when Boz says hardware is unforgiving, he's earned the right to say that. In 2013, he helped lead Facebook home, Meta's first real shot at owning a phone. Within a month, the carrier had cut the price from $99 to 99 cents, and within a year, it was gone. He shipped the misses too, and you can hear it in how he builds now. So when I asked Boz what has him most excited about the next 2 years, I expected a product-focused answer. But what I got instead started with the most human thing imaginable: his own calendar, being able to spend more time with his family, and hoping that the tech allows others to do the same. On top of that, Meta's mission to help veterans get access to this technology is truly respectable. 180,000 pairs, smart glasses, is not a press release number you get to quietly walk back. It's specific, verifiable, and shipping out this year. But go back and listen to that sentence buried in the middle of that answer.
The hard part about using AI today actually isn't the AI not being smart enough. It's actually getting all the context of the world that you're living in to the AI.
Depending on the day, that sentence sounds like a life-changing assistant or a camera on millions of people's faces. And the truthful answer is that it's both. Which brings me to the piece of hardware I think is the most underrated product in tech right now: the neural band. Now here's what happens when you actually put it on. Every time you decide to move a finger, your brain fires that command down your arm as an electrical signal, and the band reads it at the wrist before the movement fully happens. In a real sense, it knows what your fingers intend to do before they finish doing it. It's the first neural interface most people will ever own, and it's shipping inside Meta Ray-Ban display today. I have the displays, and if they had cellular connectivity, I mean, I tell anybody, I could actually leave the house now comfortably without bringing my phone. I'm assuming that's coming. But the question here is the neural band. First of all, it feels like magic. When I demo these to people, it's like one of the holy crap moments that you get once every 5 years in tech. When you look at the future of the smart glasses, is that going to play a major central role, or will that be only for like sort of the premium top-end devices?
No, we really believe in the neural band and trying to make that more and more accessible. And I think you know this if you've used it. Once you have the neural band on, going and using like a TV remote feels so annoying. It's like, I could just use my fingers. Like, why am I doing this? So making that into a platform that isn't just controlling this kind of narrow technology, but rather has a bigger footprint in the world, we just need to have enough of them out there.
And I also think once the displays, the form factor is a little bit thinner, once we got cellular connectivity, and when the band actually has like a Whoop or Fitbit style functionality, then there's no friction for me. And I feel like I'd have them on like every waking hour.
Keeping in mind that there's form factors beyond just even glasses too that we care about. Glasses in the wrist are obviously important, but other ways that people want to interact with this technology if they don't want to wear glasses. We're looking expansively at this as how do we make sure that every person has access to this technology in a way that is going to fit their life and connect them to this superpower capability.
Now, everything to this point has been the future Meta's hoping to build with their product lines, and nearly all of it matches my own experience so far using the products. But Google Glass didn't fail because the technology failed. It failed because the people around the person wearing it never got comfortable. Which brings me to the question I flew out to NYC to ask Boz, the one that wasn't even about the glasses themselves at all. To get to the vision that you're painting, like in 5 years, what do you think the biggest bottleneck is? Do you think it's technological? Is it design? Is it trust? What would you say is the number one thing you're trying to solve?
I think it's social. I mean, look, there's really hard problems that we have to solve technologically. The AI isn't there yet. The form factors, we kind of keep miniaturizing it and keep making it smaller and lighter and more comfortable. All these hard problems in the world. We clearly have a product, if you look at the volumes that we're doing with the Ray-Ban Meta, that people want, and it creates a lot of value for them. They're demonstrating that by buying it, by wearing it, by using it, making this something that everybody feels not only a technology that I want, but also a style that fits me, that represents who I am in the world. That's another thing that's so important. Most consumer electronics before this, even things that we've done like the Quest or the Portals, you just build one, or at the very least, you build the smallest number of SKUs you can possibly get away with. This is not gonna be like that. We need to figure out how we can build as many different versions of this as possible so that everyone can find one that fits them. That is the unlock we need to take next. So trust is a huge part of that, the safety that people feel like, yes, this is acceptable for me, for my friend group, for the places I'm gonna be. We've got the light to make sure people know when it's recording. Is that enough? How do we keep making sure everyone feels comfortable, not just the person wearing the glasses, but the people around that person? Those are all factors what drive social acceptability.
Did you catch it? Is that enough? I mean, I didn't ask Boz that question. He asked it himself, and that critical instinct has a long history. Boz has never been afraid to say the uncomfortable thing everyone else is thinking out loud, even about his own company. In 2016, Boz wrote a deliberately provocative internal memo titled The Ugly, arguing that connecting people was so valuable that the company should pursue growth no matter the cost. The memo leaked 2 years later, and it made him one of the most debated executives in all of tech. Boz later commented that he personally disagreed with the document even as he wrote it, and that the whole point of the memo was to force an internal debate that Meta needed to have. Whatever you make of that, the pattern across his whole career is consistent. The person asking the hardest question in the room is usually him. And honestly, that's the thing that gives me the most hope in this story, because the companies that get trust wrong are usually the ones that stop interrogating themselves. That's interesting. So you think that's actually the primary thing? Like I said, when I put them on, it's like primarily a fashion choice first.
Yeah.
And then the tech is like a benefit.
It's a benefit.
On top of that, yeah.
And of course, it's your face.
Yeah, right.
You're talking to other humans with your face.
Yeah.
Of course, that's going to be your number one thing.
Here's the fair scorecard. The light is real, the tamper protection is real, and those solve the problem of knowing you're being recorded in the moment. But what nobody has solved yet, not Meta, not Apple, or any other competitor, is what happens to a video feed after it leaves the glasses. But here's what makes this interesting. The technology to lock Meta itself out of your data already exists. It's running in their data centers right now, powering private conversations with Meta AI. It just hasn't reached the camera yet. A few months ago, I had the chance to sit down with Will Cathcart, the then CEO of WhatsApp, and Vishal Shah, who runs AI products at Meta, after the release of the Muse Spark model, and asked them about the privacy protections baked into Meta AI. You're announcing incognito chat with Meta AI today. Why is this so important?
I mean, if you think about how much we're all asking questions of the AI models that are out there, there's a lot that we're asking that's sensitive. We wanted to give people a way to ask those questions privately without wondering, is some other person sitting down and reading this or doing something?
There is no person who can actually see this information, and we believe fundamentally that people should be able to talk to other people in a very private way that even Meta, as a company operating that platform, cannot see that information. So we're just bringing that same belief system to AI. It should not just be private, it should also be good and intelligent and valuable.
What's something that you could point at as like verifiable proof that private processing is indeed truly private?
I think what's really helpful is for people to hear from voices they trust, journalists or security experts. If we do a good job of delivering the details to the people who want to dig into the details and understand it, that means there'll be more voices out there saying, no, this is true.
Those Harvard students, they didn't hack anything. They just built on top of an open capability, the same way developers build on every platform ever made. And take note of his comment regarding tech adoption and fashion. Meta's strategy is to make the glasses look so good that the camera, the smart features, and the tech disappear into the fashion itself. History says that's how adoption really works. Fashion normalized the wristwatch, AirPods, the smartphone on the dinner table. The real question here is whether focus on consumer style and comfort should come before all the privacy problems are solved. But here's the thing. The people most excited about this technology and the people asking the hardest questions about it are not typically the same people, but I'm one of them. So, for my last question, I put the whole thing on the table. If all of this works, what does the world actually get? I just wanted to end with a kudos because I love the fact that you're being thoughtful about the societal benefits. In 5 years, if everything goes to plan, what do you think is the biggest societal benefit from the new computing platform?
What is the weight of every human kind of maximized to their potential? And I don't mean this in like a grinding way. I just mean effortlessly. If your life was just a little easier for you. I use the disability case to highlight this. We have a partnership with Oscar Mike. It's a veteran organization, people who've had traumatic brain injuries, and they often struggle with memory and cognition. The promise of glasses that help them with their memories is potentially life-changing for them. There's somebody who may not remember if they took their medication that they need. I tell that story because it's so easy to generalize to all of us. Yeah, man, like I also like to know if I took my pills this morning. Like my use case isn't as profound as theirs, but it still matters to me. Like I still don't want to be out of whack with my medicines. These are human stories. We all benefit from it. The major societal benefit is every individual empowered to the full extent they can be. Whereas today, so many people have so many blockers, so many things that take time away from their day, take time away from how much they can spend with their kids, take time away from how much they can improve themselves, take time away from how much they can relax, sleep, whatever they need to do, because they're managing a bunch of things. They're not uniquely that person's role in life to fulfill. Somebody has to do it. And if an agent can do that for you, if you have found time and you choose what to do with that time, it's impossible for you to imagine this isn't a tremendous benefit to human societies.
There's a moment from that answer that I kept thinking about even days after my conversation with Boz. The veteran with a traumatic brain injury, standing in his kitchen, unsure whether he took his medication that morning, he now has a pair of glasses that can remind him if he did or not, and remind him to take them with a simple notification. That future is real. And after this conversation, I think it's closer than most people realize. 20 years ago, hundreds of thousands of people demanded Boz's first product to be scrubbed from the internet forever. But today, almost no one remembers being angry at Facebook newsfeed. And it's a core pillar of how the entirety of social media works today. Boz is betting that cycle will repeat again with smart glasses, and after speaking with him firsthand on his mission, I wouldn't bet against it. I flew out with the goal of asking whether or not Meta felt like they had earned the right to consumer trust. But I left realizing that this kind of trust isn't granted in society overnight. Boz put a clock on all of this himself. 18 months of chaos, then a new normal. So, treat this video as a time capsule. It's July 2026, and the promises on the table are specific, but we'll have to see how this all shakes out by 2028. Well, I'm excited for the vision of the platform. You know, David and I were talking about it earlier. Really, really excited for this product line, and just want to wish you best of luck, man. I appreciate the time.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Awesome.